The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings, and greetings. Welcome to another segment of the X and Y show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt, and I'm glad to be back on vacation. For those of you who know that I graduated a few weeks ago with my second master's, and that shit was hard. Never do that again. I really applaud whoever went for their PhDs. I applaud them. Even though I have two masters, but I will never go for a PhD. I will not do that shit again. But I've done it. I've completed it. And I'm very proud of myself. And now I can get down to the gritty and spend more time with my X and Yers. And get back to the norm, making shows and taking the X and Y show to different heights and different places. So I'm glad to be back. It's Friday night. Hope you're listening. You're sipping on some wine. You're naked. You're getting ready to listen to my voice and learn something. Because this is what it's all about. When you listen to the X and Y show, you're going to learn something. You might disagree with it, but you're going to learn something. I'm going to start this week out with two letters that I received. One is from Shannon. Shannon asks a question, what is your take on abortion? That's very interesting. I guess because she asked this because of what's going on with all the new abortion laws and so forth. And me personally, I'm against abortion. I'm pro-life. And I know a lot of you feminist women out there are going to get angry and shit. You don't control my body. Oh, fuck all that shit. And that pisses me off. A lot of feminist women with feminist attitudes and shit get angry when you have a different take on the matter than they do. And I hate that shit. Listen, if you pro-abortion, okay, and I'm pro-life, that's my damn prerogative. Don't get angry with me. And then you got these old silly-ass women like Lisa Milano. We're going to call for a sex boycott. Oh, silly-ass. What is that going to do? A sex boycott. You got some silly-ass women talking about squishy man nuts and all, castrating them and all kind of shit because the nut sack is where the trouble begins. What kind of bullshit is that? It's not even, sperm is in the nuts, but, that's not a baby. The shit don't make sense, but my outtake on abortion, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in abortion unless it really puts the mother's life in danger. If it put the mother's life in danger, then, self-preservation. But if it's anything other than that, I do not believe in abortion. And for those of you who, say that, abortion should be this and should be allowed and blah, blah, blah. Have you ever seen an abortion? And I've never seen one in person, but just YouTube it. And there's different types of abortions in different stages. And that shit is gruesome at any stage. I don't care what. I mean, you basically chopping up a baby. That's what you're doing. You chopping up a baby. I mean, if you look at that shit, it really puts things in a different light. And no, I don't believe in abortion. I'm going to tell you something. For those of you also saying, abortion should be a woman's choice, and if they want to do it, they can do it. If you look into it, of course, we can never prove anything or whatever, but I guarantee you, some of you who are listening to the sound of my voice, you can ask your mom and dad 30 years ago or 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 40 years ago, however old you are. And if they can answer that question honestly, I guarantee you a great majority of you motherfuckers wouldn't be walking around if your parents could have had an abortion. So you got to be careful. You be screaming that abortion is okay, abortion is, that's all right, and all that, blah, blah, blah. When a lot of you motherfuckers wouldn't be here if your parents could have aborted your ass. So think about that. So, to answer that question, what is my take on abortion? I do not believe in abortion. I just think it's basically murder. I'm pro-life. Fuck that. And for those of you feminists out there who get mad at me and gonna send me emails, kiss my ass. That's my take. You should respect that. Just like I respect your take. So, and that goes for silly ass Lisa Milano with all that sex boycott bullshit as well. Like what the fuck that's gonna solve a sex boycott? Anyway, hope I answered your question, Shannon. Another question from Mike. Roosevelt, would you even try to live a swinger lifestyle? Or at least participate in a couple who loves to practice voyeurism? No. That's, I did an episode on that. Mike, you know better than that. I don't believe, swinger lifestyles, I'm not talking down on them. That's their right. It's just not a life for me. I think a lot of those motherfuckers are crazy. And there's so much stuff going on these days. I don't trust them motherfuckers. I don't trust them. A lot of times you say, "Oh, I don't know. I just want you to fuck my wife, and I wanna watch. That's all I want to do." What kind of shit is that? You know that something is wrong with that motherfucker, or just somebody who is cool with you fucking a girl or their wife. You know those motherfuckers ain't wrapped too tight. Now, disclaimer, I know some folks who practice a lifestyle and they're listening to this episode. They're like, "Oh my God, Roosevelt, I don't believe you're talking like that. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow, you really?" I'm not talking about you. So, I just want to say that. But for those other people who practice the swinger lifestyle, I think a lot of you motherfuckers are crazy. And I don't trust you son of bitches. Anybody who want to watch me fuck their girlfriend or fuck their wives and shit, something wrong with them motherfuckers. And so much shit going on nowadays, I don't trust them. Roosevelt, I want to take pictures. Yeah, I want to turn around. Yeah, I want to take another picture of you. Put your dick in her mouth. All that kind of shit. And you know what? Me, I guess I'm kind of paranoid because what I'll be thinking what's coming after the camera click, After a while, it'll be like, Roosevelt, you know what else I like to hear? Shit. Game over. Game over. You know what I'm going to say? I'm dead. You know, he can say, hey, I came in and I found him fucking my wife. He was raping my wife, actually, so I shot him. Case closed. You know, and that's not the way it happened. You know, so it's too much shit going on. I don't like to share my pussy, and I don't like to get shared pussy. So it's just not for me. I'm not talking down on the folks who that is your lifestyle. That's your prerogative. That's your right. But it's just not for me. So to answer your question, Mike, no, I will not attempt to even try that kind of lifestyle. I will not be with a couple who likes to practice voyeurism and none of that crazy shit. So absolutely not. Hope I answer your question as well. So, without further ado, let's get into the nice episode. Would you tell your spouse they suck in bed? Would you tell your spouse they suck in bed? Now, before I get into this, I looked up just a few things. There's all kind of shit out there, but I found this article on msnbc.com by Brian Alexander. And he did a study that 80% of the women fake orgasms each time they have sex. 80% of the women, I'm going to repeat that shit, 80% of the women fake orgasms each time they have sex. And I've seen another study where it says 67% of the women fake orgasms. So, you know, between 65 and 80%, give a little, take a little. Either way, that shit, that's terrible. You know, we're talking about 8 out of 10 or 6.5 out of 10 women who are actually faking orgasms every time they have sex. That's terrible. That's terrible odds. And when I also looked into it, the article on MSNBC, it said 36% of the men fake orgasms, which I find that really weird. Usually a man, you know, you get a nut, you get an orgasm. So I don't get, you know, I guess, I don't know, men fucking somebody who they really not attracted to and couldn't get a nut. I don't know. But I thought that was real weird. But anyway, 36% of men fake orgasms as well. Let's see. An article on Psychology Today says most faking took place during vaginal intercourse. 55% of the women, 80% of the men. What the fuck? But some occurred during oral sex, 8% for women, 11% for men. Now I had some sorry blowjobs in my time, so yeah, I can kind of, that 11% for men should actually be a little higher. I've had some real sorry blowjobs, so that I could understand that. Anyway, unspecified sexual play, 37% female, 8% male. So the point is, there's a lot of people faking orgasms. There's a lot of people who are not satisfied with their sexual activity between their boyfriend or girlfriend or their husband or wives. Now, if you're in a relationship, I feel that you still have time to fix that with your boyfriend or your girlfriend before you actually say I do. So you have time to fix it. You can tell them, look, I like this, I like that, and blah, blah, blah. I want you to do this, I want you to do that. If they don't do it, then you should break up. If they're not doing it now, they're not going to do it on honeymoon night. A lot of you motherfuckers think, oh, she won't suck my dick now. But when we get married, she'll suck my dick. Wrong. If she didn't suck your dick before you got married, she's not going to suck your dick on honeymoon night. Now, that's not to say that years later, she might put your nuts in her mouth. That's totally possible. But don't expect her to initially suck your dick on honeymoon night if she didn't suck your dick while you were in a relationship. And you can't blame her for that because she kept it real. She didn't do that before you got married, so you shouldn't expect her to do that afterward. But again, that's not to say that things will change later on down the road. Same thing with guys. Ladies, if he didn't eat your pussy when you're in a relationship, he probably not going to eat your pussy on the honeymoon night. That's not to say that a few years down the road he might lick the pussy. But initially, he's not going to change. And you shouldn't expect him to change. You shouldn't try to change him. If he didn't eat your pussy during a relationship, he probably not going to eat your pussy on a honeymoon night. Now, communication is key. I feel with something like this, you have to let... now, I'm speaking primarily of married folks, because like I said, if you're in a relationship and the other person is not listening and not improving, then you probably should break up, because it's not going to get better. Fuck that. It's too risky, in my opinion, to take that risk, unless it's some real deep shit that you like, fuck it. I don't care, and she is sorry in the bed, but she good and everything else. I'm going to marry anyway. And a lot of you listening to my sound of my voice probably wishing you hadn't done that. What the fuck was I thinking? Woo! Communication is key. You have to let the other person know what you like. You have to let them know what you're lacking, thereof. For women, you might the guy you might need him to do more foreplay. You have to tell him. If you don't tell him, he won't know. You sitting up there, and a lot of guys, believe it or not, they think you wet. They think when a woman is wet, oh, she's good. That's good enough. That's not the case. A lot of guys think that, unfortunately. A lot of guys think because a woman that's enough. And that's total bullshit, because a lot of women stay wet and moist in a pussy. So that's a terrible indicator that a woman is being satisfied. I mean, don't get me wrong, it helps. But that's a terrible primary indicator that a woman is being satisfied, that she's wet. Can't just go by that. So, and the same thing, ladies, with a guy. If just because he got a hard dick and he enjoying the pussy, don't mean he's actually enjoying the pussy. It's a difference. He could be enjoying it. He fucking, he getting a nut, but is he actually enjoying the pussy? That's what's important. So just because he got a hard dick and he pounding on you and all that, and don't mean he actually enjoying the pussy. He just getting a nut. It's a big difference, ladies. Big difference. So communication is important. You have to tell a person that, hey, I like this, I like that. You need to do this, you need to do that for me to get off. You need to do this more. I want to do this to you for me to get off. I had this lady, this girl tell me one time that she couldn't get a nut unless she had a pussy eaten. And in those days, I wasn't eating pussy. I think that's what she was really trying to do, get me to eat pussy and stuff like that. But, I wasn't having it. So I just got mine, and call it a day. So you ain't get a nut. You can't get a nut if I eat pussy. Okay. But, I was young, and I've learned a lot since then. So I was wrong. I admit it. I'm sorry if she listened. But she told me, but I said that because a lot of women enjoy things to actually get off. A lot of men actually enjoy things to actually get off. There's some people who are into pain. It's not my thing, but some people are into pain. Some people are into stuff like golden showers. Some people are into domination. Some people know all kind of stuff that, that arouses them to get to a climatic level, not just straight up intercourse. Some people use toys. There's all kind of things. Some people like voyeurism. Some people like to be swingers. That gets them off, getting fucked by strangers and shit. So there's different things that gets people off. So the important thing, you have to communicate to your partner, your husband. You have to communicate to your wife what you actually like. What you actually like done to you. You have to open your damn mouth and let them know, I like this. I need that. I need you to do this. I need that. Blah, blah, blah. You need to open your damn mouth. Otherwise, it won't get done. But I'm going to tell you, communication is important, but it's not the only important thing. I mean, you can tell somebody, when you first get married, that they like doing this and like doing that, but 5 years from now, it might change. Yeah, that was cool. She might tell you, that was cool 5 years ago, but I want to do this now. I want to try new things. And she tell you, and if hopefully you down with it, and then you try new things, and she gets satisfied. Same thing with him. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, his whole thing about getting aroused and might be totally different. He's older now. He might want you to do something different now to get his rocks off. Where he's actually enjoying the pussy. Not just getting a nut. So even though you communicated with each other 5, 10, 15 years ago, I like this and you like that, and okay, I do this for you and I do that for you, blah, blah. Things might change 10, 15 years from now. So it's important to not only communicate, but to continue to communicate, because you go through stages in life, where your sex urges change. When you're in your 20s, it's different when you're in your 50s. Guys know what I'm talking about. Not me. I don't have that kind of problem. But, guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of you can't keep your dick up unless you take a pill. It's different now. You're in your 20s, you can fuck all night. I still can, by the way. I don't have that problem, But you can't compare yourself to me. I'm different. You can't, don't compare yourself to me. But most guys got problems with their dick now. They can't, they take a pill. They have to take a pill before they can fuck in their 50s and something in their 40s. 50s, 60s. They got to take a pill before they get some pussy now. One like that in the 20s. One like that in the 30s. So it's different for men through stages. They might need a little bit more arousal techniques to get their dicks up. Same thing with women. Women in their 20s is not the same in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It's a little different now. Takes a little more effort to get that pussy wet. You have to be willing to do what she needs, what she communicates with you, as to getting her rocks off, as to getting to her orgasmic stage. So that's what it's all about. So the question is, would you tell a person that they suck in bed? Absolutely. You should tell them. Because if you don't tell them that they suck in bed, it'll never get better. Never. The person can't read your mind. A lot of times, all these people that's faking orgasms and all this kind of shit, they don't say nothing. A lot of them are not communicating. A lot of them are not continuous communicating. So the other person think, oh, well, shit, that's fine. I'm beating this pussy up. I'm good. I'm getting me a nut. She all right. She ain't saying nothing. So she must be happy. Same thing with a guy. I know he like his dick sucked, but he ain't saying nothing. So fuck it. I'm not doing it. He getting a nut. It's all right. Everything cool. When everything not cool. I often wonder how miserable it must be. If you're a person who's been married 10, I'm going to say 10 years, I'm not 5, because 5 kind of still newish. I'm going to say 10 years and up. 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years. Some of you out there listening, you've been married a long time, and the person that you sleep next to every night and that you fuck every once in a while, you're not happy sexually. I can't wrap my mind around that. I can't even, I can't imagine going through something like that. And in my opinion, I think it really prevents a lot of marriages from actually being as solid as they could be. And I'm not saying that sex is everything, but sex is a lot. Fuck that. I don't care who, let's be honest. Society always talking that bullshit. Oh, sex is not everything. No, it's not everything, but it's a lot. And if you got a couple that been together for 25, 20, 30, 35 years, laying up with each other, fucking every once in a while, and when they do fuck, they're not satisfied, not happy, or maybe one person getting his nut, or she coming, and the other person not totally enjoying it, I can't imagine being in a relationship or marriage like that. One thing being in a relationship, you can fix that. You can break that shit off quick. But a marriage, kind of long term. You got to kind of stay there, really. So you can't just leave. And, it's something a lot of you are just living with. Like terrible sex. That's very important in a marriage. Very important. And I believe if a lot of folks were having happier sex activity with their husband, happier sex activity with their wives, I think a lot more marriages would be a lot more successful. I really do. I really believe that. I think it starts with, I'm not going to say it starts with sex, but sex is definitely a part of the equation. Definitely a part of the equation. It's like a algebraic equation, A plus B. You got to have the sex. It's in the equation. You got to have it. Otherwise, you cannot solve the equation. You can't. And a lot of you are missing that in your marriages. A lot of you are missing that in the equation. You're not having good sex, you can't have a good marriage. It's simple. Without that certain part of the equation, you can never solve it in algebra. You can never solve it without that simple letter in algebra. You can never solve it. You can never solve it. If you're not having good sex, you cannot have a successful marriage. You can't. It's not possible. So, to answer the question, if your partner sucks in bed, should you tell them? Absolutely. You have to tell your partner that you are unhappy. You have to tell them tactfully. You don't want to hurt their feelings, like you don't know how to fuck. You need to, What's wrong with you? I'm not satisfied. You're not doing this. What's are you stupid? Blah, blah, blah. Don't you know that I didn't come? No, you shouldn't be like that. This is a person that you are supposed to be in love with. So you have to tell them in a very tactful way. Honey, let's talk. While we're having sex, it's good, it's nice, but I would like a little bit more. I would like to do something else. Would you be willing to try this? Would you be willing to try that? And if he loves you, or if she loves you, they should be willing to try it. Unless it's really crazy as hell and out of this world. Like, with me, there's certain things that I just won't do, I never do. Fuck that. I don't do everything. For example, I'll give you an example. If I was married to my wife after 10 years, tell me, Roosevelt, I just want to try something new. Would you be willing? I said, okay, well, baby, what you talking about? What you need? Because you know me, I'm all about, satisfaction. That's me. And she said something like, I really would like to try a strap on and do that to you. Not happening. So I want to, it's good that we're communicating because she know that shit ain't happening. Certain things I will not do. Certain things I will never do. Never. Absolutely never do that. But that's something you should know your partner as well before you get married. You should know what shit is always off limits. You should know the shit that they'll never do. They'll never try. You should know that before you get married. Even though things may change years later. There's been couples that got married and was monogamous couples, and 10 years later they're the baddest swingers in town. Shit changes. But that's a decision that they were both willing to make, or one was willing to make or presented in the marriage and the other one went along with it. That's different. They communicated. They say, let's do this. They did it, and they're both happy. Okay. I respect that. But there's certain stuff that, people will never do. I will never do. So, and that's something you should know your partner better, or at least somewhat, before you get married. Before you say I do. But the key is you have to communicate. You have to tell your partner, you have to tell them what they're doing wrong. If you don't tell them what they're doing wrong, they can't fix it. If you don't tell them what they're doing wrong in the math equation, they can never solve it. So, to answer my question actually, would you tell your spouse they suck in bed? Absolutely yes. Because if you don't tell them in a loving way, then they'll never be able to correct it. And if you don't correct a bad sexual experience between your wife or your husband, you can never have a truly successful marriage. No way. Can't happen. Impossible. So, hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Be sure to check out the X and Y Show on various avenues. Whatever you listen to, I'm on Spreaker. That's my main platform which I broadcast from. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Blueberry. I'm on Google Play. I'm on Spotify. I'm on iHeartRadio. And I am on Castbox as well. So be sure to check out the XY Show on any venue that you listen to. I'm also on social media. I'm on Tumblr. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And I am on Instagram. You can find all of that on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com, www.thexyshow.com. There's also the store, which you can buy shirts, coffee mugs, Android covers, iPhone covers, and so forth. And I will, now that I have time, I'm not in school no more, I will be making major changes to that store. So keep an eye out on that. Be sure to take a picture of your shirt, your XY shirt, and I'll definitely post it on the IG account. There's also a contact form. You can write me a letter. Let me know how you're enjoying the show, what you like to hear on the show, what you disagree with, what you agree with, and just saying hello, you love me. If you want to send me nude pictures, that kind of thing, women only. I'm just kidding. So all of that is on my website. Again, it's www.thexyshow.com. Be sure to check it out. And be sure to check out the show, Bigger and Better Things, more interviews, more things coming down the pipe now that I have more time to really get into the show. So stay tuned. With that said, that is another episode in the books, and I want you always to remember, without love, you can't have X and Y. And without X and Y, you cannot have love. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.